Hello, I'm Becky Cross, and welcome to this 10 Minutes on Tenant Migration webcast focused on support. In this short webcast, we're going to cover how to provide user guides and training, how to organize support tiers, and considerations for hypercare and white glove assistance. Supporting a tenant migration doesn't just begin the night of migration. It is important to start preparing your users ahead of time for what to expect. There are many types of pre-migration documentation that you can create to help out with this. These docs will vary based on the size and the complexity of your environment, as well as your migration scope. Some common topics for user guides include directions on setting up new multi-factor authentication for the target tenant, instructions for exporting and importing any custom settings that might not be migrated, instructions on the steps that will be required to update desktop applications and mobile devices after the migration is complete, and instructions on how to update email signatures if they need to be modified to meet new branding requirements. In addition to detailed user guides, it is also highly recommended to create a frequently asked questions site that users can reference both before and during and even after their migration. Some common topics for an FAQ will include some details on migration timing, who they can call for assistance, what to expect during the migration event, detailing what does and does not get migrated, and of course, clarifying what account to use when accessing their migrated resources. And in environments where users might benefit from some additional preparation, you can even create training videos and even live training events where you can review all the user guides in more detail and answer a lot of questions ahead of time. The topics shown here are really just a few of the many types of documents that you can create for your migration project. Again, every migration is different, so remember to customize your training accordingly. But even with detailed pre-migration documentation and training, migration events will always generate questions, and it will be useful to create a tiered support structure to assist with these questions. So first of all, in an escalation path, end users should always be directed to call your standard help desk for the company. The help desk will be able to assist with most questions. This includes users needing an account reset, helping to clarify a user's new login ID, maybe helping a user configure their settings in Outlook and on their mobile device. The help desk can also help direct users to all of those pre-migration docs and published FAQs that we talked about previously. But for more complex questions, the help desk should contact the migration team to get that next level of assistance. The migration team can confirm whether a user's migration is complete yet, if they're even scheduled yet. They can review the available migration logs to help answer many questions about maybe some missing content or permissions that the user is not seeing in their migrated content. And if the migration team finds that there is an issue with the user's account or the user's mailbox configuration, they can then contact the appropriate system administrator to make any required changes. Now remember that end users should not be contacting sysadmins directly. These issues should only be reaching advanced support personnel through a proper escalation process. Lastly, if you are utilizing a third-party tool or third-party service for your migration, you may need to engage their assistance with performing detailed log reviews and also assisting with any configuration changes for future waves that might be identified from some of these questions generated by users. In addition to the standard support structure that we just talked about, many companies also find it useful to provide dedicated support teams. Two of these are Hypercare teams and white glove teams. So let's talk a little bit about each of them and how they can help your users. A Hypercare support team is a group of people who are solely focused on the migration project during the migration event. They will have studied all of the user guides in depth so that they can help answer all these migration questions. Now, a traditional Hypercare config has been to create a special telephone extension that end users can select when they call the help desk. When they dial the number for migration support, it routes them directly to this dedicated Hypercare team. More recently, many companies are creating support channels in Teams and other chat programs where users can post their questions in chat, post any issues that they are seeing, and receive immediate attention from the Hypercare team there. A different type of dedicated support is known as white glove assistance. This is useful for ensuring that VIP users have the smoothest migration experience possible. And some smaller companies are even able to provide white glove assistance for all of their users. This team directly contacts their assigned users before the migration to ensure that they are properly prepared. They can help the users set up their MFA ahead of time. They can help the users to export their settings before the migration. And they can help ensure that they schedule an exact time for the user's migration that will have the least impact on the user's daily operations. Then when the migration event actually occurs, a white glove team can provide that direct assistance with updating the devices, either in person or via remote support, and ensuring that the migrated user is able to access everything that they need. They will be that liaison to the dedicated support teams for the escalation path that we talked about previously. So that's what we wanted to talk about today regarding supporting tenant migrations. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in trying Quest on-demand migration, please use the link here to download the free 30-day trial. And if you found this session helpful, please watch our other 10 minutes on tenant migration webcasts shown here.